have rated this content mature. Hello Internet, welcome back to the Digital Age Monster Club. My name is Mark, and this is Minecraft Monday. Today is about Woodland Mansions. So, first things first. Ooh, boy. There we go. So first things first, Woodland Mansions are a super rare spawn in the world. And if you're having trouble finding one, you're not alone. I had to actually load up a seed world that had a known Woodland Mansion just to find one of these things, because villager trading was not getting anywhere. And if you... normal way of finding the Woodland Mansions is either wandering around looking for them in, these are called dark forests or roofed forests. The other way of finding them is finding a, what's it called, a woodland cartography map, or a woodland map, which will give you the location, or direction rather, most likely. And then you gotta travel there. So highly recommend that you set a spawn point or, by sleeping in a bed, and a few things. I did a little setup here. You want some good equipment. So the Woodland Mansion is actually pretty big, and some of it is lit, but a lot of it is not. So monsters can, or mobs can still spawn. You're gonna want a lot of torches, because monsters will continually spawn, so long as there's a decent light level, as always. But there are two specialty mobs, technically three, in the mansion, and unfortunately they do not respawn, so you cannot farm them out. So you might as well light the place up while you go through. So, basic setup, or recommended setup rather. I'd say 4 stacks of torches will get you through it pretty relatively unharmed. Full stack of food, full stack of building material, whatever you want it to be. A map is good if you're inside and you need to get out quickly. You can just figure out which way you're facing, run that way, and then mine through the wall. I recommend a diamond axe. I've got efficiency on breaking on it. Silk touch is optional, but you can do what you want. You can also put a attack enchantment on it, like Smite or Bane of Arthropods, if that interests you. I have a diamond pickaxe, because there is stuff you can mine, including obsidian blocks in here. So Unbreaking, Fortune, Efficiency, Looting, and Smite. You don't need the last two, but the first 3 definitely help. It's just the general. And I've got a diamond sword, which Unbreaking, recommended. Sharpness, recommended. Knockback and Fire Aspect, definitely recommended. And I have a shield with Unbreaking on it. I have diamond armor. I've got Feather Falling, Protection 4, Thorns 3, and Unbreaking on all of them. And Thorns is very helpful because there's a mob that can spawn called a Vex, and they can damage you. They can, first of all, they can phase through structures. So they're not blocked by regular blocks as you are. So they can go through that. So they can attack you from behind, and they float around in the air like they're flying, so thorns will actually damage them. So it's a great way of taking care of that threat. Feather Falling, creepers spawn in the area, so if they blow up next to you and you're on the 2nd or 3rd floor, or the roof or whatever, and you fall, Feather Falling is going to help you not die. Unbreaking, because that's just awesome, and Protection, because there's like 5-7 different kinds of damage you can take in this game, so just general protection helps. And oh yes, bow. Regular arrows or arrows of harming are what I would recommend. Punch, Power, Flame, Unbreaking, and Infinity are great. Infinity does not work on specialty arrows, unfortunately. And lastly, Shears is a good thing to bring along because there's actually wool structures in here, and you can mine through them regularly, or you can mine through them quickly with Shears. So that's my normal setup, or recommended setup, I should say. Now, Woodland Mansions are a rare structure. They've got a cobblestone foundation, so they don't have dungeons, but they do have 2 to 3 floors, and they've got this one's. The wiki says a winding maze of corridors. This one basically just has 2 sides. There's the left side and the right side, and they don't intersect with each other. But all the rooms are 1 block buffer zone, so you can mine your way through this house actually pretty quickly. Let's see what else. There's 2 specialty mobs. There's Vindicators and Evokers, and Evokers can summon Vexes, which are their own kind of mob. Evokers and Vindicators do not respawn. Great shame. They both drop emeralds, and Evokers can drop Totems of Undying, which is... Oops, I had that. Hang on. Totems of Undying, which basically, if you die with that on, it saves you from actually getting a death counted against you and stops you from dying, basically. And the Vexes are, like I said, they look like winged angels, but they're kind of freaky and really mean. And they attack you. So, other than that, the mansion is easily explorable. Its problem is that it's unlike the Ocean Temple, Jungle Temple, a Desert Temple, or other stuff. The entire structure is randomly generated, which means all the rooms are randomly generated, and there's like 30 different kinds of rooms that you can get. And when I went through this earlier, I found like 15, 18 of them. So you're not guaranteed to find all of them at all. So first of all, there's a which one's this? The White Tulip Sanctuaries, I think is what this one's called. Yeah. And just a decorative room. Then you've got... I put torches along the walls just to help decrease the spawn rate. Be mindful that you will hear mobs from above floors and below floors as well, so don't get too freaked out. Just be cautious. Jeez. Oh, that one was right on top of me, but it's actually above me, so technically on top of me. Alright. Secondly, there is a chance of hitting secret rooms, which is why a map is actually fairly useful. So this is a secret room. And it's not so much secret as just boarded up. But this is a, this one's called, what, the tree chopping room, I believe. You got a chest with a axe in it for chopping down the tree. So a very strange room. Then we have the... What's this one called? The bird... Nope, not that one. It is... Sapling Farm Room, yeah. And it has a chest too, just a bunch of saplings in it. A bunch of saplings planted on dirt blocks all around the area. This looks like a... I'm drawing a total blank. a arboretum. Yeah, a little bit like an arboretum. So we have so. Hey. Okay. So this is one of the weird rooms. This is a just random wool. And there's nothing really hidden in this room, but it's decorative wool that you wouldn't have to dye yourself. So if you want it, it's here. And torch. Alright. I'm gonna go put these blocks back over here. There we go. All right. Okay, so now we have a. This is a farm, but there's actually nothing in here. No crops of any kind. And it's fully ready to go. So if you have like seeds with you, you can, and you need the food, you can actually grow them out while you explore. That's kind of helpful. And we got another farm here, and I will list all the other rooms that you can find in here. I'm just kind of going through this to show you. Another farm. I think that was a Vindicator or an Evoker that I just heard. Another white tulip room or sanctuary. And this is a empty storage room. There you are. That is a Vindicator. Now, as exciting as it would seem, totally empty. None of these chests have anything in them. So, you know, kind of down, but kind of a downer, but if you need chests, you got them. Then, by the way, I'm offsetting these because plan to dig or mine through them at some point. So, and you've got a pixel art room. And this one doesn't really have anything to him. So that's one side of the building done. So long as you use basic caution and don't take great risks and make sure your health stays full, the mansion is not as dangerous as I originally had thought it was when I had learned about it. So now this is it's called the checkerboard room, and this one does typically contain loot. So you got string, wheat, front flesh, seeds, name tags, iron ingots. There's other stuff. I'll list the possible loot you can find at the end, but right now I just want to kind of get through this to keep this video from being too long. Alright. Now we got another farm. Aha! Yeah, fire aspect really does help. So, light and light source. Light source, light source. Another farm. Jeez. I don't remember there being this many. That's like, what, 4 or 5? That's a lot. Alright, and this is a... Whoa! Yeah, thorns also helps against projectiles. So definitely... You burned up my experience! I didn't even know that was a thing. Shame on you. This is a blacksmith room, so you've got your lava source, anvil, no chests in here, so not like the villages, but you can get the stone. Which ones? What are these called? Oh, that's polished andesite. I thought it was stone bricks. I'm thinking it's something else. There we go. All right. And there we go. Okay. You go. All right. And in here, this is interesting. In here is a villager, or sorry, not villager. Illager is technically what they're called. This is where I broke through earlier. It's an Illager head, full pixel art. So make sure you light it up. And then the secret to this room right there. Block of lapis lazuli. So, it's kind of cool. I'm not entirely sure. I think that's supposed to be a torch that he's holding. That or a gold shovel, but yeah, that's the only thing in there. But plenty of colored wool if you want it. And moving on. Yeah. Oh, my bad. And then that's the end of the first floor. That's everything. So as you can see, not too dangerous as long as you keep placing torches to keep the area lit. You're not going to have anything spawn back on you. Oh, and if you get concerned about missing a spot, feel free to dig through a wall and see if you're on the right track still. It helps to keep the layout like all connected in my head when I do this. So and it's also great escape routes too. I didn't help, whatever. I also would not recommend trying to climb up or dig up from one floor into another. Just take the stairs. You really do not know what's going to drop on top of you, whether it is a hostile mob. Well, if a hostile mob will drop on you. And I have had it happen where a creeper has dropped on me. Not because I tried going up, but it just happened. So, this is a... What room is this? Small dining room. Supposed to be chimney vents right there. It's really just, what is that? Upside down wooden stairs with, carpet. So, nothing hidden in there. And then we get to an arena. It's literally what this room is called, an arena. Now, get your sword ready. Because you gotta light this one as you go. Right. Like I said, a lot of torches help. Sorry, I'm not... Oh! Oh, I missed that last time. And there's a spider stuck in the ceiling. Whoa, jeez. And you can die. Oh, there's a second one. Interesting. But yeah, it's an arena, so I guess the previous occupants had boxing matches or something. And it also has a viewing platform up top with a chest, which actually has decent loot typically. So you got iron ingots, redstone dust, you know. I'll tell you all about it later. You guys are super noisy. You know that? Alright. Yeah, moving on. By the way, I typically use stakes when doing this because there's something called a hunger saturation, which is how long you will stay full before you start losing hunger, and meat in the game, as it does in real life, lasts longer. You guys are killing me. There, now that's quieter. Somewhat. Okay, so here comes part of the tricky bit. So first we'll deal with the Vindicator. Back. There we go. Alright, but there's an Evoker right over here. That guy right there. Now, I could just snipe him right here and be done with it, but I need to show you what he can do. Oh, sorry, that was a Vinegar. This is the Evoker. Those are the Vexes. So when they go into attack mode, they turn red. Whoops, missed. But you can damage them when they get close with a sword, or hit them with a arrow from a bow. And those Vexes you can keep spawning more Vexes. That's the Fang attack, offensive mode. And that's the defensive mode, where he summons it in a circle. And it's getting kind of crazy. You can leave. Aye! Like I said, Thorns are very helpful here, because I can't perfectly predict their movements. There we go. Alright, so now you can't summon more Vexes, and now you can deal with them. And the protection enchantment is doing some of the negation. So Thorns and Protection 4 really do help. And Vexes do drop experience, so totally unfair, I should say. Alright. And then this room is... large dining room. That's what this is. Large dining room. This is a double bed bedroom. And no, there's nothing in those rooms of, like, loot value, really. Alright. That's one side of this floor taken care of. Now, over the other side. Alright. So this is a staircase room. It's got a pillar in the back to help support the staircase, which is a nice decorative feature. And I will go back up that when I finish with this floor. Another double bedroom room. And over here is a single bedroom room with a supposed to be a fireplace, I think. So, just different ways they've designed simple things. Definitely creative. Alright. And... okay, this is a... which room is this? The birch pillar? Birch archway room, I think? That's what it was called? Yeah, because you got the top up there. Okay, so this is the room those zombies were making such a fuss in. And this is a master bedroom room. So as you can see, one big bed and a table. And then over here is a... which room is this? Is this just a small dining hall, I think? Yeah. Medium dining room. That's what it is. So I'll give him that. Another Voker. And this time, deal with him at range, like you should. Oh, and I picked up the Totem Undying from the first one. I forgot to even check. I've been getting emeralds from the others. I'm gonna grab this stuff real quick. And Vindicators are fast boss. They're really quick. So you're not likely to outrun them, but you're welcome to try. And then here we have a library, large. And what you need to know is that there is a... oops. Top. Nothing spawns up here, but you want to light it up. Because monsters will spawn up there. This is where the creepers were at that I mentioned before, that dropped down on me. So gotta remember to look up every once in a while. So okay. Now, other dining hall. with mushrooms growing in it. So, cute. Ah, now we get to... This is where the, I think that evoker first spawned in. This is supposed to be a throne room, I believe. Yes. And, I thought that the, Fang attack was an actual mob. When I first saw the, gameplay of people doing the Woodland Mansions, I thought the Fang attack was actually a mob that was unkillable and remained in this room. Like, it spawned in this room. So I'd given the Woodland Mansion a higher like difficulty rating than I was actually at, because I didn't understand how it worked. But I'd never gone to check it, because I just never found one, and I was always doing something else. But yeah, that's the throne room. There's nothing hidden under the cobblestone, by the way. But sometimes there will be banners that are up there. So there's another decorative feature. And then, here we go, this is the end of this floor. Nothing really crazy. The evokers you do need to treat with very defensively. Either take them out at range or kill them up close quickly. Because if they spawn too many Vexes and you don't have enchanted armor, you need to run. And then deal with them slowly. Because getting swarmed by Vexes is akin to getting swarmed by silverfish in this game. Come on. There we go. So. And there's wool pixel art of the staircase. Then we have a master bedroom with loft, I believe is what it's called. So we got, yes, right up here. And this has a second bed, or bedroom with loft, whatever they call it. I'll go over everything. With a golden apple and a music disc. Some melon seeds. No, this is a master bedroom with additional bed and a loft. In a loft. Not sure what they call this one. Hey, look! Creeper! This is why you gotta be careful. At all times. You must be ready for an attack from anywhere. And then these doors are, I guess it's supposed to be like a changing room, I guess. There's nothing in there. Oh, hey! I see you. There you go. And getting a nice collection of emeralds here. If you can get looting onto your main weapon, do it when you're taking on these things. Because it's always good to have more emeralds. Hey, guys. Yes. If you're super paranoid about getting attacked while you're dealing with a mob, feel free to, like, build a wall up that either limits your attack angles or just completely blocks it. Then deal with what you're dealing with and then get back to it. Alright, and then this is a conference room. So this is kind of neat. One large U-shaped table. And that's a third totem of a 9 from this thing. So, yeah. If you're careful, or if you do this with other players, not that bad, really. You just, like always, you gotta treat everything in this game with some level of caution. Here's another throne room with banners, like I mentioned. And then, aha. And there we go. And here's another master bedroom with a loft. Yeah, and these Vexes move pretty quickly around you too, so even if you do have a angle on them with like a melee weapon, they're not likely to still attack you from that viewpoint. And of course, the more open area you have to deal with them, the less chance of them surprising you through a wall. There we go, that's a 1. Yes. Alright. Look at that. Chainmail, chestplate, wheat, bones, string, music disc, lead. That's some dust, not flesh. So, not too shabby in terms of a haul. Yeah. And then there's the chance that you spawn pixel art, other than the villager head. So you've got a chance to get a cat, and then there's, of course, this chicken. Or duck, as it actually looks like. But then we have another large library. And you're gonna go up this one too. Go. There you go. See, that's feather falling in effect right there. So, little no damage. I got an arrow for you. And as you can see, I've already gone through my 4 stacks of cheese. I told you! 4 stacks of torches, and yeah, creeper just blew up the floor/ceiling. If you can find one of these places early on, it's actually a decent place to try and get books from for your enchanting tables. But I wouldn't bank too much on that idea. And I think that is it for this. Oh no, is this just one side? No, that was the whole thing. Except that, because I'm crazy, when I went through this before, behind this head is an obsidian structure, and it hides a glorious item inside of it. Block of diamond. Yeah, when I went through this to get an idea of what this place was, I mined through every wall to make sure that I wasn't skipping any area. That's kind of what the secondary purpose of the map is to make sure that you're not missing a room, since you can have secret rooms. And that's what you can find. So, that is it for this mansion. As you can see, mobs still spawn, but that's where the creeper dropped, or creeper explosion was at. But that's how I deal with it. My recommendations. I'm gonna go ahead and go through the list of rooms and then the loot, so you know that that's not the only stuff here. So you've got the jerk. So you got to give you or an idea of the place. I'm gonna call this size room is a 1x1, and this size room is a 1x2. So I'll refer to those as, you know, what kind of structures or what kind of rooms this place can generate. So for 1x1s, you've got a flower pot room, which is just 5 different kind of flowers sitting in pots. There's no treasures hiding in there. You got a rails and ladder room, which is a room with a cobblestone ring around the walls with rails on top of it and ladders placed on the walls of the ring. A single carved pumpkin sits on the wall facing the door. And no treasure in there, but it doesn't really seem to serve any kind of purpose. Then there's it's called an office, and you have basically tables like the kind that we saw in the master bedroom. And there's just like 3 of those in there. And it's nothing special. In the checkerboard room, we saw that one. There's a chest on a level above the door. And you guys need to stop bothering me. I'm busy. The White Tulip Sanctuary room, we saw that. An X room it's a secret room with walls lined with cobblestone patterns and an X formation. And a chest sits in the corner. And then you have a spider room, which is a secret room as well, filled with a lot of cobwebs, and there's a spider spawner in the middle of it. No treasure. An obsidian room, which is that secret room that we just saw, where the obsidian's there, and then the block of diamond was hiding in it. I stand corrected, by the way. That is not hidden behind the... that's supposed to be hidden behind that Vindicator face. It was just in there, and I found it because I looked through Rev Cecily. I'd kind of recommend just bring those walls down anyway, because like I said, it helps you keep track of how the place is laid out. But you're not very likely to miss or skip any secret rooms if you do that. Just something to do. Then there's also a birch pillar room, which is a secret room which just has a bunch of birch plank blocks that just go up into the ceiling. Then you have the birch arch room, which is that one that I was in, where he had the stairs on the block, which went into the fences, which went into a block, which went into the fence, which went into a block, and made an arch all the way around with the looked like a gazebo top above it. Then you have a small dining room, which is just a small dining room. I think we saw one of those. Yeah, with we saw that because they had the chimney like structures. And then there's the single bedroom with the fake fireplace. There are small libraries, which is like a... How do I describe this? Several bookcases are stacked in a column, or a L-shaped column. There's it's called an allium room, which is just a room with a filled cauldron. There's a chest containing allium nearby, and there are allium flowers in flower pots on a oak plank display. So, this is interesting. And that does it for the 1x1 rooms. Now, the 1x2 rooms, we have it's called a gray banner room, which is an altar-like room with a construction in the middle made of cobblestone and cobblestone stairs, which delimits a tiny short passage with a banner at the end. There's a hidden chest behind the construction, and a Vindicator always generates here. That was not in my mansion, so I don't have anything to refer back to. Then there's the wheat farm, which is those 4 or 5 rooms that we saw with the farms with nothing in there, or farms with no crops in it. And there's nothing really special with that room. It's just ready to go farmland. Then there's the blacksmith room, which we saw, which is mostly polished andesite, 2 lava source blocks, and an anvil. And a vindicator is always supposed to generate there. And then there's the sapling room, which we saw, which has a chest with dark oak saplings in it. Some ladders are in the room as well. Then there's the wool room that we saw. And there's light blue, blue, and cyan wool. Nothing really special about it. Tree chopping room. Okay, so I take it back. It is not a secret room. It is a sealed off room, according to the wiki here. There's a chest which always has an iron axe with efficiency 1. Alright, so I stand corrected on that. I thought that was special. Alright, then there is a mushroom farm room, which is literally a mushroom farm. There's a bunch of dirt blocks with red and brown mushrooms in there, as long as an empty chest. There is a stem farm room, which is a 2-tier pumpkin and melon farm. So there's a line of water, then there's farmland on either side with stalks on them, or stems on them. The top level is one is melon, and the other one is gonna be, the bottom level is gonna be pumpkins. And then there's the small empty storage room, which we saw. All the chests are empty. A vindicator generates there. Then one of the bigger things about the mansions, which we did not see in this one, is a redstone jail. It is a room with a door opening redstone circuit. The room is locked by 2 iron doors. There's a lever and some redstone dust to open both. Inside is a zone with cobblestone arches with some brown carpets and a cauldron. A vindicator always generates here. And that's, yeah, it's a jail. I don't know why they have it in there, but okay. Then there's a small jail. It's going to be kind of similar, but not as expansive as the other one, the redstone jail. It's a room with a cell with cobblestone walls and a cauldron and... Okay, and there's other decorative stuff. A vindicator always generates in it. And then there's a wood archway room, which is a room with a bunch of arches made of dark oak logs. Vindicator always generates there, and there's a chest that exists at the room's end, so that's where you can get some loot. Then there's a winding stairway room, which is not the one that we saw. It is a spiral staircase, 1 wide, dead ends, slopes and curves around the entire room, and it contains loot at the end. And then the Illager head room. So those vindicator heads that we saw, the pixel wool art, it's called an Illager head. Because vindicators and evokers are they're referred to as Illager mobs because they mean you ill, and they're not quite villagers, but they were basically banished or whatever from regular villages. And nothing special in those room. Then curved stairs room, which is what we saw, which is just, stairs leading up with an Illager head, wool art. Jeez. Nothing in there. Medium dining room, which is what we saw. We saw 2 of those, I think. So there's just a big dining table and a... Is it a couch? What they try to make it out to be. Serving counter in the corner is what they're calling it. It looks like a couch. Then there's a double bedroom, which we saw a few of those. 2 vindicators generate. Nothing else special about it. Then there's a triple bed bedroom, which was not in this mansion, and three Vindicators always generate here. Then there's a medium library room, which we did not find, which has a large table in the center with flower pots on it and a bunch of bookcases. Then there's a straight stairs room, which is looks just like the looks a lot like the curved staircase room. But it's going to be almost the exact same thing. It just doesn't curve at the end or at the beginning. Then we have a master bedroom, which is a large master bedroom with a regal bed. Nothing really super special about that. Banners can hang from the wall. Then we have a bedroom with loft, which is we saw two of those. You have what looks like a master bed. Then there's the changing room, closets, whatever you want to call them, and then there's the loft above it, which has a single bed in there with a chest. Then there's throne room, which is we saw those. So it looks kind of like a shrine, but there's a padded seat, basically, or padded block, which with a like a tiered step up kind of to it. Two Vindicators and Invoker always generate here. There's a cat statue room, which you did not see, but made entirely of wool. A chicken statue room, which is basically the same thing, made entirely of wool. Clean chest room. It's a secret room with one chest containing random loot, and lit by 4 torches on 4 dark oak fences. Then there's a fake end portal room, which is a secret room. There's a platform of orange wool and a ring of green wool above it, with having much the same appearance as the stronghold portal that we saw in the last video. There is a rigged or trapped chest on the green ring, connected to 2 TNT blocks right next to it. So you are recommended to break those TNT blocks before you try and open that chest. And the staircase leading up to that ring is silverfish. So they're known as cobblestone monster eggs. So yeah, be careful with that. The chest has 2 ender pearls in it. And there's a roof chests room. It's a secret room that is empty. But there's an attic-like space above the room that has 2 chests in it. And now there's the 2x2 rooms. So there's a large jail room. It's a room with 4 cells with cobblestone walls, a cauldron, brown carpets on the inside. A Vindicator always generates here. So there's levers, iron bars, cobblestone stairs, polished andesite, iron doors, brown carpet, cobblestone wall, cobblestone slabs. Just from the picture that I see of it, it looks like an impressive build. I still don't understand why there's jail inside a mansion, but I didn't build it. Then we have a large empty storage room, which is a room with lots of double chests. Chests are all empty, and Vindicator always spawns there. Then we have an Illager statue room. We saw that one. It's the big head with the torch-like object in one hand, and the lapis lazuli block is hidden inside the head. Then there's a nature room, which we did not see. It's a room where in one corner has a flowing water fountain, quote unquote, surrounded by andesite, and the opposite corner has a dark oak tree. And looks very decorative. And there's the large dining room. You saw that. Multiple 3-chair tables dot this room, and a chandelier hangs from the center ceiling. 2 Vindicators and Evoker always generate here. Then there's a conference room, which is a large gathering hall with a table in a U shape. 2 Vindicators and Evoker always spawn here. And then a large library. We saw that. Several of them. 3 rows of large bookshelves and arranged seating area. We did not see a map room, which is a room with colored carpet on a table, seeming to represent a map, as well as some bookcases along the wall. 2 Vindicators and an Evoker always generate there. And then there is a arena room, which is a room with an arena stage surrounded by dark oak fences in the center. The ladder leads to an overhead loft. The chest with loot can be found in this loft. And then the last room in the mansion is a lava room, which is a secret room with a large glass case full of lava and a diamond block hidden in the center. And there's also obsidian in there. A lot of obsidian. And that is it for all the possible rooms that can be generated in a Woodland Mansion. And then as for the loot that you can get, you've got bone, gunpowder, rotten flesh, string, wheat, bread, lead, which you can use for camels and horses and donkeys, or passive mobs. Name tags, coal, redstone dust, music disc 13, music disc cat, golden apple, diamond hoe, beetroot seeds, melon seeds, pumpkin seeds, iron ingots, buckets, enchanted books, chainmail chestplate, diamond chestplate, gold ingot, and enchanted golden apples. And that is all the loot that you can get. And, yeah, the biggest thing, other than the loot and the totems of undying, is that there is an advancement here. Use a totem of dying to uncheat. Use a totem of undying to cheat death. So if you want to get all the advancements and prove you're a great gamer, this is where this Woodland Mansion is where you need to go to get Totem of Undying, which drops from the Evokers. Like that. And that is it. Yeah, it's unfortunate that you can't get every structure or every room generated in this. It's also kind of unfortunate that the Evokers and Vindicators don't respawn, but I understand why they didn't do that one. But it is definitely something different. I think it's a great addition. Alternatively, you can forget like all this stuff and just burn this whole place to the ground, really, if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it, because you're probably going to set the whole forest on fire at the same time. And, you know, that's just going to slow down your entire game. But that is it for the Woodland Mansion. And finally got to do this one. I'm so happy. So, I can rest my voice for a little bit now. Okay, well, thank you for joining me. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it very informative. And I certainly hope that you have a better idea of, 1, what to expect, and 2, how to prepare yourself. As always, I recommend caution, being well prepared, and setting a spawn point just in case. But hope it helped. And I hope you come back for more videos. But until that happens, take care.